Dark days are here, Batman. The prophecy has come true. The fires are raging, and Gotham is burning.
This is the end, Dark Knight. You can't fight fear. My reign of terror starts now.
It's officially been a decade since Batman Arkham Knight was released. Rocksteady managed to provide a beautiful swan song for the Arkham series. And even after a decade, it's a game I often revisit, more so than the other titles in the series, and remains to be a game near and dear to my fanboy heart. Despite many people's grievances, and trust me, there are a lot, Arkham Knight is a wonderful achievement that fans still play after all these years. It was a long and bumpy road, but like the Dark Knight himself, it persevered and became the end-all be-all Batman game. So that leaves us with the questions. Where did it go wrong? What did they do right? And how does it hold up? Spoiler warning for the Rocksteady Batman games. If you haven't played them and you want to, you have been warned. The series kicked off with Arkham Asylum, and during its development, it was shrouded in skepticism since it was a time when superhero video games were either mediocre at best or extremely abysmal. Let's not even talk about Batman's buddy, Superman. Ugh. After its launch, Arkham Asylum surprised many people with its faithful adaptation of the Batman mythos in both the narrative and gameplay. The game truly delivered on how it feels to be the Batman with its fluid combat system and impressive Predator mode. The game was a monumental achievement for Rocksteady, showing everyone that superhero video games can be taken seriously. With its success came Arkham City, a sequel that greatly surpassed its predecessor in more ways than one. Its scale is wider with a more open map, contrasting with the claustrophobic Asylum. Implementing Batman's gadgets in confrontations further refined its already fluid combat and expanded his gadget utilization other than just being tools to traverse and progress through areas. The stealth was made more challenging, while still maintaining the power fantasy of being a predator lurking in the shadows. The inclusion of Catwoman was a nice change of pace to the main story, with the DLC Harley's Revenge serving as a nice epilogue to Arkham City's storyline. The sequel exceeded everyone's expectations and became a massive success, elevating the superhero genre to greater heights. With 2 successful titles under their belt, all eyes are on Rocksteady for the series' conclusion. Since it's the last chapter, Rocksteady made sure to go big. They created a map 20 times bigger than Arkham City, added new combat mechanics, and finally included the Batmobile after 2 games worth of fans begging. The game is primed for success, yet it became the most divisive game in the series. It's so easy to pick Arkham Knight apart, but these complaints are valid. The Batmobile's role is overblown, the tag battles get tedious over time, they keep recycling villains, the twist is unsurprising, I could go on and on. For me, it was the underwhelming boss fights. Most of the major encounters in the game were either tank battles or regular team-up fights. It was the most disappointing part of the game for me, especially after Origins, a filler game by the way, gave us some of the most memorable sequences in the series that highlighted Batman's rogues gallery. We finally got a Deathstroke rematch, and we only got a retread of the Arkham Knight tank battle? Are you serious? All that hype, and the game left many feeling a little disappointed. But I don't want to focus on these missteps. These complaints should not undermine the game's achievements. The graphics, for instance, are still phenomenal. Gotham City may be evacuated, but it's not empty. Every nook and cranny is brimming with history. Batman's history. Vibrant neon lights shine in the dark city, and the constant downpour of rain highlights every detail the artists put in. Rocksteady made the right choice by delaying the game to incorporate the then upcoming next-gen system. Cutscenes are rendered in real time as opposed to being pre-rendered. It's crazy how timeless the graphics look, even after a decade. Its combat is perhaps the game's greatest accomplishment. Rocksteady truly gave fans the ultimate Batman experience with their perfected combat system and stealth. Their trademark free-flow combat feels more fluid than before. They took the Arkham City's adjusted formula and sprinkled in new mechanics that literally changed the game. It's just mwah. Batman can now use his environment to take down a group of thugs effectively. I'm sure that guy's fine. Rocksteady also introduced dual play, where you can seamlessly transition from Batman to members of the Bat family during specific missions without breaking your combo, with matching flashy takedowns and entertaining character moments. Rocksteady also added new enemies to balance out these new mechanics. That is more true in the Predator missions. The improved enemy AI deploys countermeasures that will obstruct you from wiping them out easily. Compared to previous games, the AI in this game feels more active as they attempt to make the tools in your utility belt obsolete, forcing you to adapt and change your tactics. The Fear multi-takedown makes the experience all the more enjoyable as you take 5 or 6 enemies out in one fluid motion. The new mechanics are welcome additions and elevate the game's immersion, hammering in the tagline, "Be the Batman." Like I said, it's easy to overlook what Arkham Knight did right. The Arkham series was placed on a high pedestal, and fans tore it to shreds when it fell short. The criticisms surrounding the game may be valid, but in my opinion, it's exaggerated. Most people point their fingers at the Batmobile. People complain, "Oh, you spend more time in the Batmobile than you do exploring the city and beating up bad guys." Well, that's just not true. There are just segments that felt longer than they are, making the Batmobile feel like it put a damper on things. The tank battles were meant to contrast slower moments, but these encounters felt like a chore you had to do before moving on to the good stuff. Rocksteady added different enemy drones and weapons to the Batmobile, but it pales in comparison to the stellar combat. These sections felt like Rocksteady's attempt to justify the Batmobile's inclusion beyond driving around Gotham. However, to their credit, the Batmobile handles like a dream, and that's something most players forget to acknowledge. The controls for the car were outstanding. It's easy to maneuver even at great speeds, and transforming from vehicle to tank mode is flawless. I'm still not a huge fan of following tire tracks, but I've gotten used to these sections. They're a nice change of pace, and it wasn't overly saturated as I remember. Apart from the Batmobile, Arkham Knight is also famous for its divisive plot. I was not ecstatic that Joker returns, and that Batman is literally turning into him with his magic Jokerized blood, but considering that fear is the main theme of the game, it makes sense. Not the Joker werewolf transformation, but how the Joker infected Batman's psyche. How Batman fears that the Joker, Arkham Knight, and Scarecrow might be right about him. That he's just a man, and he will fail everyone in his life as he did before. Fans unanimously dislike the obvious Arkham Knight twist, mainly because of its predictability. I called it the moment they revealed the character, even after the Red Hood DLC was announced to throw everyone off. I just knew that Arkham Knight is Jason Todd. It surprised everyone that Jason returned, since he was not mentioned in the first 2 games at all. Its execution may not be the best, but I think his inclusion adds a layer of complexity to the story. Throughout the game, we're constantly reminded of Batman's mistakes, and Jason is the embodiment of these mistakes, perhaps his greatest. I know I complained a lot about the lack of boss fights in the game. The build-up for a big confrontation with Arkham Knight was just 2 Batmobile encounters in a Predator section, but it led to Rocksteady taking a risk for a more personal confrontation.
It's not too late. We can fix this. Together.
Then we got a deviation from the established formula at the end. We didn't find a hulking version of Scarecrow. Instead, we're put literally into the mind of Bruce Wayne, and we're shown that the line he's drawn was crossed. Gotham is in flames, consumed by chaos. Batman failed. Throughout the series, Batman's morals and very existence are questioned. Joker wanted Batman to embrace the chaos in Arkham Asylum, constantly taunting the Dark Knight to break his one rule.
I just wanted to bring down your grim facade and for once let you see the world as I see it, giggling in a corner and bleeding.
In Arkham City, Hugo Strange blames Batman for creating his villains, casting doubt on whether Batman does more harm than good.
Have you ever considered that all this is your fault? Your presence creates these animals. Like germs, they spread. All your sacrifices, and yet, you are the one to blame.
That idea is expanded upon in Arkham Knight, with Batman facing his fears and putting on the cowl means dooming Gotham. It's a great thematic conclusion to the series that pays off the ideas introduced in previous games, albeit roughly. The game perfectly bookends these ideas with Bruce overcoming his fears and embracing the end of the Batman to save Gotham. From Arkham Asylum to Arkham Knight, all these games did one thing right: celebrate the Caped Crusader. The story and gameplay of the series are in service to that idea. Batman Arkham Knight is the culmination of everything Rocksteady developed. It's their masterpiece. Dare I say, their magnum opus. There is no Batman game quite like it. Rocksteady's dedication to delivering the quintessential Batman experience has inspired its fans to do the same. The modding community still thrives to this day. Various artists and developers lend their talents to add iconic skins and gameplay improvements to enhance Arkham Knight. From comic book skins to iconic media interpretations, the modding community delivers. Heck, there are skins from different franchises in the game. This is how much the game impacted its fans. Sure, the game is flawed, but there is so much more to be admired. Batman Arkham Knight is their love letter to the character and their fans. One that will stand the test of time. We were there in the beginning, and we got to see how it ended. That's all we have for Gaming Backlog. I had fun revisiting the Arkham games. Now, we ask you, what's your favorite superhero game? If you want us to play other series, let us know in the comments below. And if you want more gaming news, updates, and deep dives, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Until next time, this has been Game 8. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.